Amod is here, Fatima, Madhushani, and I think one other person has to join. Let's see. Let's go through your designs in the meantime. Okay. This is Chamod's design. Looking good. And Fatima and Ryan. Okay, Madhushani have to complete. Okay, it is already completed. Let's see one by one. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's Chamod's design. Menu and main. So it's good. And hero, it has left
Excuse
hand
me, sir.
side. Yeah, sure.
Sir Kalna said that he cannot join today.
Okay, okay. So he will get the recording so he can refer
Yeah.
to it and follow. Yeah. Okay. No worries. Thank you. And right. And this is good. And footer. So in that case, we can start our session. We can like comment on these designs at the end of the session. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about UX design process. Do you have any questions from last session? I will ask everyone who has joined. Chamod, is it clear? Do you have any questions?
No, sir, all clear.
Okay. Even for the exercise, you created it completely, right? No issues.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. How about Fatima?
No, sir. Clear.
Okay, okay. Madhushani?
In place, sir. Sir,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we didn't receive last week presentation and recording.
Yeah, I think it is already in the Google Classroom. Let me see. Have you joined Google Classroom? Did they send you a link?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let me see. Go. In here, we have added presentation, important resources, and links, as well as the recording. Let me see. Madhushani's name is there. Okay, you have been invited, but you haven't accepted it yet. Can you check your emails?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. UX design process. Now, part one, we are going, actually, this is a two-part presentation. In the first part of the presentation this week, we are going to talk about what is the UX process and the methods used, and how to apply the UX design process practically, and also what is empathy and why is it so important in design thinking. And then we are going to talk about user interviews and competitive analysis, and creating personas and use flows. So I roughly went through all these topics last week, but we are going to talk about them in detail today. So what is your design process? How you start the design? Let's ask everyone. Chamod, if one of your clients give you a product idea or a design that he want to create, how are you going to approach it? What is your process? Can you answer? Can anyone answer? or even Fatima or Madhushani? I think Madhushani is already doing some development work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you get a project from one of your client, how are you going to approach it normally?
We need to gather requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Shamod? You can send a message as well if you like. Fatima, do you have any idea how to approach design or a development project? Okay. So let's go through these designs. So this is an image of a billboard. So I will talk about the design process. Last week I introduced you to design thinking, and I roughly go through whole design process, starting from empathize and finally to test your design. So in here also, a UX design process is an iterative step-by-step methodology UX teams use to complete projects. So the important part is it is iterative. So you have to go back and forth in each of these steps to finally come up with a good design, good product. So if you skip one of these steps and directly move into design without empathizing users, without doing user research or competitor analysis, your product won't be successful. So you have to follow the step process, and you have to go back and forth iteratively to fine tune your product before you are launching it. So this is the methodology we are using as a team normally. So in here we have first step called empathize, where we gather requirements and empathize, understand who are the users of the application, as well as understand company's business goals. So that is the part we are going to discuss in empathize phase and define. So we have to, after empathize with the users and understanding who are the users as well as the business goals, we have to define the success or define the project. So in that case, we have to define what are the user requirements, what are the problems they are currently facing, what are the problems we are going to address, and so on. In that phase, we are going to define the time frame as well as who are going to take responsibilities for each task in team. So that is what happening in the define process. And ideate, where we do the research, and we get the research outcomes and we ideate them. We can use mind mapping, wireframes, prototypes, low fidelity prototypes to ideate. So basically, if you gather requirement and do user interviews as well as competitor analysis, okay, another student called Nuwan. Let's see. Okay, we have. Hello, Nuwan. Is this your first session?
Hello, yes, sir. It's a session.
Okay, okay. Were you able to go through the recordings that we did last week?
Yes, I could.
Okay, okay. So I will continue the presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask during the presentation or after.
Sure,
Okay.
sir, sure. Okay. Good.
Okay. So we were talking about the design process. So we talked about empathize process, where we empathize with users and stakeholders of the project, and define is where we define project goals and how we going to approach a project. So ideate process, we create user flows, wireframes, where we can have a overview of the project and get feedback from users as well as clients. And after we fine tune our wireframes, we develop low fidelity as well as high fidelity prototype, where we present them to end users or the clients to get their feedback and understand if there's anything we need to improve. And finally, after prototype, we're going to test the prototype with actual users. So it can be either as I said earlier, it can be a physical or a digital product. If it is a digital product, it will be easier. So we can send them a link and we can screen record, or we can record their interaction with the product and get an understanding about how our design will perform, how we can improve to accommodate user needs. So this is the rough user UX methodology design process that most companies use. So in here also I have added a diagram. The number one is understanding the problem existence. So in here, most of the time in this phase, we understand why we need to create an application. So as I mentioned here, similar to empathize process, in order to come up with a better product, first we need to understand why we are doing this, why we are creating a particular application. So for example, let's say a ride sharing application like PickMe or Uber. So the developers or designers first ask the question, why are we developing this kind of application? Who will be our users? So those are the questions that we ask in the first phase. So in the research phase, in this phase, conduct surveys, interviews, find out competitor details. So in the research phase, we have to do user interviews as well as stakeholder interviews, and also we have to do competitor analysis. Competitor analysis is something you have to do even though that kind of application don't exist in a local market. But for example, let's say you want to build a ride sharing app. In local market, we have one successful app called PickMe, and there are other international applications like Uber. And in Singapore, they have application called Grab. And in US, they have applications called Lyft and so on. So you have to compare all these applications and understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of this application, and how can we improve our applications by using all these good things we can learn from these applications. So the best way to start your competitor analysis is by going through those applications, Google Play Store or Apple App Store reviews. So most of the users put their reviews. If they are frustrated or if they are enjoying this application, they tend to put a review in those stores. So it is a good way to start your application rather than interviewing if you don't have time to interview those users. So that is research phase. And then analyzing phase. In this phase, conduct analyze and raw information I have found by using computer analysis, creating personas, customer journey maps. So all the things we learn from understanding problem existence and research phase, we apply those in analyze phase and analyze all the details we collected in a proper way. For example, if we collect in the research, we do quantitative and qualitative research. For let's say in the quantitative research, we came up with some numbers, the page loading speed, the time to accomplish a task, and so on. So we can bring all these and analyze them in a single sheet or whatever to compare and analyze those data we collected visually. So it will give you a proper idea about what are the things that we need to consider, what are the things that we need to give more attention when we are developing the application. And then after the analyzing phase, we are going to do a wireframes and design. In this phase, the user flows, high level and low level wireframes will be created. So in the analyze phase, I missed one thing. We are going to create user journey mappings, and also there will be personas, storyboards. So in that phase, we can create those. In personas, we are creating it kind of like the people we are interviewing, we are creating a persona for them. For example, if I interview someone called Mark, we are going to create a persona for him to about his background, how he is going to use this application, and so on. It will help the developers and designers to understand who their users are and do their project based on that. And finally, we in the wireframe and design phase, we can use pencil and paper wireframes, and also you can use applications like Sketch app, and also in the Figma Jam application to create wireframes. So so that is the wireframe process. And finally, visual design and testing. In visual design process, we are creating the visual designs, prototypes, using the wireframes we designed. As I mentioned earlier, these all are iterative process. So one can first understand the problem existence, and then they do the research. So they find something that they haven't found in the first place. So they go back to the first phase and redo the understanding problem phase and come back to research. So every step, it can go back and forth in an iterative way. So that is how it is done. And finally, in the visual design process, we do low fidelity and high fidelity prototype, and we present it to the users as well as stakeholders to get their feedback on our design. So after they giving the feedback, we again improve the designs based on their feedback, and we produce a final design and give it to our developers to develop the product. So in that case also, after we develop in the product, when we are launched into market, we will continuously look for user feedback and try to improve our product. So it is an iterative and continuous process. You have to understand that. So here we are going to discuss these steps one by one. Number one is, what is empathize? Empathizing is understanding your users. We can understand them by understanding what problems they have, what they need, what they expect from our app, and also what they think about our app. And finally, what are the problems in the existing apps? So what problems they have. So let's say, for example, they want to send money to someone is abroad. So let's say now a person in UK want to send money to person in Sri Lanka. So the problem they have is they can't send money easily, and also they will get charged the commission charges and so on. So they want to send money without any hassle, and also with less charges. So that is the problem they have. What they need, they want to send money without much charges and faster. So most of another problem they might have is, most of these money sending applications, they take up to 1 week to send money to someone abroad. So they want to send it faster and without much commission or charges. So that is the problem. That is what they need. So what they expect from your app is an answer for that. So they need to send money faster and without much charges. And number 4, what they think about your app. If it is a already existing app, you can interview users, or you can get their reviews from Google Play Store or Apple App Store to understand what users think about your application. If it is a newly launching application, you can give a demo to your users and ask them, what do you think about our application? How you compare it to the application you are already using. How are you going to use it in daily basis and so on. So that is also important. As a UX designer, it is really important to communicate back and forth with your users and always think as a user. So that is what we call user-centric design. So in the end of the day, we are actually designing our product for users. So if you don't think about your users, the product will be a failed one. So you always have to keep in mind that the product is for users, not for you or for the client. Number 5, what are the problems in the existing apps? As I said earlier, what are the problems in the existing apps? So most of these applications, one thing they don't support in Sri Lanka, especially PayPal, though you can't send money. So you can receive money to your credit or debit card, but not for the bank account. So that is a problem. And also there are huge amount of fees the banks in UK and also banks here in Sri Lanka is getting. So you if you can eliminate all those and develop application, it will help users to use your application without using other competitors' applications. So after empathizing process, here is a user interview. So where you interview users with your initial design idea and wireframes and so on. So in here, you ask questions from users, the similar questions. What are the problems they have, what they expect from this kind of application, what they think about if you are developing application with particular features, what they think about that. We can ask them if will they use it or not, and so on. So interview questions here in this scenario, we are thinking about developing a bicycle riding application. So we ask questions like this: why do you ride bicycle? So we have to understand if this person is actual user of this application. So if yes, we are asking why do you ride bicycle? So what do you expect from a bicycle tracking app? So if it is a bicycle tracking app we are developing, so we are asking questions such as what do you expect from such an application? Number 3, do you use any other bicycle tracking app? If it is, what are they? Number 3. Number 4, what are the problems in that application? Number 5, what features you need to have in your app? So for example, in Singapore, they have a bicycle application where riders can take bicycles from anywhere. They have bicycle pools and they can scan the QR code and unlock the bicycle and go to whatever the destination they want to go and keep it there and leave the bicycle. So another user can come there and scan the QR code and collect the bicycle and go wherever he want to go. So in that kind of application, we can ask users these kind of questions. Or even for your own bicycle, if you want to track your bicycle path or how many calories you burn and so on, you can use this kind of application and you can ask similar question from the users. So for the question, why do you ride a bicycle? User might answer, I want to look fit and healthy. And he even say, I want to keep track of the places I travels and improve on the time I spend for cycling. I want to feel motivated while cycling. I like to share my interests in cycling with my friends and encourage them to take part while having friendly competitions with fellow cyclists. I want to be updated with today's trends and wear decent outfits. I used to travel short distances. So different people will answer in different ways. Like the first user want to look fit and healthy, and the second one want to keep track of the places he is traveling, and the third one want to feel motivated, and the fourth one, he want to share his interest, like sharing photos or videos on social media and so on. He want to show other people that what he is doing and encourage fellow cyclists. And Fifth one, he want to wear decent outfits. That is why he is riding a bicycle. And finally, the last one, he used to travel short distances. So he find that riding a bicycle is better than taking transport or anything. So in here we have like 6 use cases why different users ride bicycle, which is a good input for our research as well. So the same user scenario, we ask the second question: what do you expect from a bicycle tracking app? These are the interview questions that we are asking. So the scenario is a bicycle tracking application. So one person might say, discover the best cycling routes. The second one is the save and share favorites. So you can save and share favorites with other fellow cyclists. So say they can take the same path without any hassle. Number 3, get inspired to reach new cycling goals. So they can, by creating this application, we can give them an option to set their own goals. For example, ride bicycle for 30 minutes every day or 2 hours every week. So we can show their progress and give them a message that if they have achieved the goal. So it will make them feel successful and it will inspire them to reach new cycling goals as well. So they can also track fitness by using trip cycling activity tracker. So it is, if they are using a wearable like a smartwatch or even a mobile phone or any other wearable, we can track their BPM, we can track how many calories they burned by using our application, by analyzing how many miles they traveled, how much is the speed and so on. And also they can record routes so other people can follow the same routes as well. And the users will be able to map their favorite bike trail or hiking or run for other users to follow, or for even for them to follow the same path in next time. And finally, they can analyze the training with all these stats. So if we give them a dashboard with all these statistics, they can finally go through all these numbers and analyze their habit, like how many hours I spent on cycling daily, how many calories I burnt if I cycle 1 hour every day, how much will it affect for my health and so on. So it will give them a good it will be a good companion for them to improve their health as well as enjoy bicycle riding. Number 3, the question number 3 is, do you use any other bicycle tracking app? If it is, what are they? So in here we are actually interviewing users who are already using such applications. So one user might say cycling, bike tracker, Strava, bike computer, and those are the applications that different competitors use. So you can understand how many users prefer one applications, why they like it rather than other, and you can ask different questions to understand the advantages of that application and use it for good effect when you are designing your own application. In here, we are asking what are the applications they are using, and we are then asking what are the problems in that application they are facing. They will have issues with tracking, OS compatibility, too much facts, rapid app development, trouble placing a challenge. So problems in that application, one user will say issues with tracking. So it maybe don't have like tracking when the data is off, because most of the bicycle riders and most of the runners, they might take rural paths where they don't have cellular reception. So we have to understand these problems and try to find out a way to save the data locally and connect it to the cloud when the internet is available. So you have to address that in the UX as well. So you have to tell them that the connection, if the connection issue is there, and we are still tracking your progress, and we are uploading it to the cloud when we are connecting to the internet. So that is also important. OS compatibility, actually it is not much of a problem these days because most of the users use Android or Apple iOS. So and also all of the applications have available in both these marketplaces. So if it is a Huawei or any other OS application, you might have an issue, but it's not that much of an issue. So too much facts. Another issue is now if we are going to give our users too much information, too much to choose from, they will get frustrated. They won't be able to do that, accomplish the task that they're supposed to do easily by following our steps if we are giving them too many facts or too much information in our screens. So you have to make sure that you design the application in most simple way and don't frustrate your users and let them accomplish their goals easily and successfully. Rapid app development is another thing. Actually, if we are doing most of the application developments, especially for the startups, they use rapid application development. So in that process, they eliminate some of these research parts, important research parts. For example, they don't do the computer analysis, they don't ideate or create wireframes. They directly go from idea to the development without taking much time on designing as well. So that is another problem that the developers face, not the users. Finally, trouble placing a challenge. So in that application, one user come up with like if they wanted to create a challenge to challenge their fellow cyclists, there's no feature in that application to create that challenge. So if we can create an application that the user can create a challenge and invite other users, this user will be satisfied. But we have to consider all the users and we have to come up with the minimum viable product to address all the necessary steps that the users needs. These special features, we can ship them later, but the minimum requirements should be there. Minimum requirements for all the users should be there when you are launching the application for the first time. But if you are using this interview to interview users who already using your application and other applications, your application, so you can give them a feature to placing a challenge without any issue. Number 5, features you need to have in your application. So if we ask users this question, they will say, discover the best cycling routes, save and share your favorites, get inspired to reach new cycling goals, track your fitness with Trip Cycling activity tracker, routes, map your favorite bike trial or run, analyze your training with all the stats, track how much you save your money and fuel by using a bicycle, buy bicycle parts, use for short distance travels, keep a to-do list and reminders. So the users expecting all these features in the application. So one user might say that they want to reduce their carbon footprint and that is why they are using bicycle. So in that case, we have to show them how much fuel he saved, how much carbon dioxide emissions he saved by using the bicycle rather than using a motor car or anything. Analysis. Here, in the define process, empathize and define process, we are doing the competitive analysis. This is the competitive analysis slide. So, what is competitive analysis? One of the critical steps when developing a new product is finding out where you stand with the competition. So, likewise, the same example we discussed up until now, the bicycle riding application, bicycle tracking application. So when you are going to develop the application, you have to understand where are you when comparing to your competitors. So it is important to understand if there is a competition, you will be able to give competitor advantage by analyzing all these competitors, there are advantages and disadvantages, there are pros and cons and so on. So, and finally, the competitive analysis is a necessary part of a design process to help business gain valuable insight into the market, identify the strengths and weaknesses of their products, and develop effective product strategies to create winning results. So if you do the competitive analysis, you will have a better idea about who your competitors are and what are the users expect from them, what are their weaknesses and what are their strengths and so on. So you can use all those data to create a product that liked by many users, and you can go into the market with a winning product and get winning results from your application. So why conduct competitive analysis in UX design? By conducting competitive analysis, you can assess where your product or design stands in the market. So if it is a first time product, we are launching it for the first time, or we are going to scale up our already existing application, it is really important to do competitive analysis so you can understand where your product is at in the current market and define any gaps in the market. So for example, let's say you find out there is a gap in the market. For example, let's say our bicycle riding app, most of the application don't support wearables. So the users don't have any way to find out how many calories they burned, how many hours they need to ride the bicycle to burn some amount of calories and so on. So if you can implement that kind of a application with the feature, with that specific feature, you can fill one market gap. So users will come to your application specifically because you have that feature that others don't have. And then know the strengths and weaknesses of your competitors. So in here also, we have to analyze what are the strengths and weaknesses our competitors may have. So one thing you can do is you can interview users, and also you can use reviews to understand the weaknesses and strengths those applications have. And then you can identify the advantages and disadvantages of your products. By analyzing all these strengths and weaknesses, you can come up with the advantages and disadvantages people will get by using your product rather than using other competitors' product. So that is the point number 4. And have evidence to back up your design changes. So by conducting competitive analysis, you can tell your product owner or a client or even a development team, why did you came up with such a design idea rather than any particular other one. So you may have did the competitor analysis and come up understood what users like about one particular application's user interface, why they prefer that when comparing to others, and you can use the same or advanced UI to present it to your users rather than using the same UI. So in here, you can back up your designs and changes and tell the your product owner why did you came up with that idea. You can critically analyze what is the design you selected, what is the advantage of that, and how users will benefit from that, and so on. Number 5 helps you solve usability issues. So here also, if you do a competitive analysis, let's say if you don't do any competitive analysis and develop an application, so you don't fully understand your users, even though you did multiple user interviews. If you don't do the competitive analysis, you don't know what the competition look like, what is the market looks like. So it is always a good practice to do a competitive analysis and solve your usability issues prior to do your design and ship it to the development. Here are the steps to do a UX competitive analysis. Number 1 is outline your goals and define your product. Number 2, compile a list of your direct and indirect competition. Number 3, create a comparison chart of a competition's product features. Identify the differences between products. Summarize and present your findings. So outline your goals and define your products. So as I said earlier, the first question that you should ask is, why are you developing this product? So why are we developing this product? So in that case, you have to understand your goals and define your product. So for example, if you say that you are going to develop an application for bicycle tracking, so what are the goals you are going to accomplish? So one goal can be get 1,000 users within 1 week. Another goal can be like revenue, get $10,000 in first quarter of the year. So you have to clearly define your goals and do your product accordingly. Second one, compile a list of your direct and indirect competition. So list of direct competition, for example, if we take ride sharing application, so direct competition can be if we are developing application, Pick Me or a Uber. So indirect competition, there will be applications that available locally, or there are places that don't have applications but operate in a traditional way, like doing phone calls to get a taxi and so on. So you have to have a good understanding about those direct and indirect competition as well. And also, number 3, create a comparison chart of the competition's product features. So by analyzing all these competitors, you have to come up with a table that you can compare what are the features specific users has, what others don't have, and so on. So it will give you a understanding, a broad picture about the features that you want to have in your application and what you can eliminate. So it will give you a competitor advantage as well when you are shipping features for the application. Identify the differences between products. So one product, so if you compare those products, let's say, for example, you compare ride sharing apps. So only applications that comes to my mind in Sri Lanka is Pick Me and Uber. So if we compare Pick Me to Uber, Pick Me has all the applications like marketplace, the ride sharing, food delivery, everything in one place. Whereas Uber has Uber Eats in their ride sharing application, but it is not the fully working version. So you have to download a different application if you want to access full featured Uber Eats. So likewise, you can identify the differences between specific applications your competitors have. Number 5, summarize and present your findings. So you have to summarize and create a presentation and present to your stakeholders, product owners, and the fellow developers and designers to gain an idea about what the product is and how the competitive analysis help the product exist. So one way to start, let me pause for now. So is everything clear up to now? If you have any questions, you can ask through chat or by switching on your microphone. Okay, no questions so far, it seems. Mhm. So in the research process, when we are doing user interviews, we are creating user personas. Personas is something that we create when we are interviewing users. We are writing down their name, their occupation, and their demographics, how their age, and so on. And then we write down. Let's take bicycle tracking application. If they own a bicycle or not, how often they ride a bicycle, why are they riding a bicycle, and so on. So it will help us to understand different users and give them what they need. Like here, the user personas are archetypical users whose goals and characteristics represent the needs of a larger group of users. Usually, a persona is presented in a 1 or 2 page document. So in persona, we write all these, their characteristics, their demography, and how they can help to understand different users that will use our application and so on. It can go on to 2 pages, but most of the time we can create it within 1 page without so much of detail. We can use point forms to gather information. So why are the user personas important? Number 1 is build empathy. So if you create a persona with specifically with person's image or a similar image, you can empathize with the user. So let's say we have users called Sam, Jane, and so on. So you can think of that user when you are designing or developing particular feature or particular screen. How will Sam use this application? How will Jane use this application, and so on? So it will help you to build empathy with different users. Then we provide direction for making design decisions. So we have these personas. So as I said earlier, we can build empathy as well as we can provide direction for making design decisions. Let's say we have a school teacher called Tom, and then the Jane is a banking manager. So 2 different people who is working in 2 different places, and the use cases for those 2 different people are not similar. So we can provide direction and make design decisions based on those 2 or how many personas we have. and we can address all those people's issues by creating our design to accompany their goals and what they expect from the application, how they interact with the application in day-to-day life. And also communicate research findings. As I said earlier, when we are doing a design, most of the time we work with team. So if it is a agile team, there will be like 4 to 5 designers and another 4 to 5 coders and product owner. So there will be about 6 to 7 people in the team. So you can communicate. If you put names for these different people, so you can tell that that Tom will like this idea, and every team knows the name, and they know who you are talking about, who Tom is, and so on. The persona development is important for communication as well. Here's how you create a user persona. The persona name, you have to come up with a name, or you can use actual name, but most of the time we are using different name than actual name. And you can come up with a photo and demographics, gender, age, location, family, and so on. And goals and needs, pain points, bits of personality, example, quote or slogan that captures the personality. So these are the details that need when we are creating a persona for different users. Let me show you an example of persona. So here is one example of the persona. So in here we have an image and a name, demography, and one slogan that show who he is. And we have added goals and the learning habits, frustrations, and the usage of phone. This is this particular use case is for the education application development. So they have added learning habits and so on. So we can add sections based on our use case and create our personas based on that. Creating user flows. User flow diagrams is also important for the designers as well as the fellow designers and team, as well as the product owners, even for the users to understand the user flow. And if we can create a streamlined user flow, we can like create our design based on that. So we can cover all the areas in that particular flow that users want to go from start to end. So that is the main purpose of user flow. User flow is a UX flow is a diagram that shows the path a user goes through when using a product from the start point to the final interaction. So if, for example, let's say that you are downloading a new application. Let's say you are downloading Facebook for the first time. So the user flow would be, you search the application on the Play Store or Apple App Store, and then you download the application. Then you open the application, it will show you the splash screen, and then you create an account by using your own credentials or using Google or any other supportive application. And then it will create you an account. It will send you an OTP or a confirmation email. When you confirm your account, it will go directly to your newsfeed, where you can go through their, like you can add new friends and so on. So that is the user flow diagram for the first time user of a social media application such as Facebook. So why user flow is important? In here, it is an easy and fast way to visualize the process. So rather than thinking it in your mind, if you have this kind of a diagram with a user flow, it will be easier for users to, for your fellow designers to understand what is happening in particular step and what is happening in particular path of your application. So creating a visualize the process will help you to accomplish that. So, and then allows to better learn your audience. So by creating a user flow, you can better learn your audience as well. So because it covers all these audiences. So for example, let's say, let's go to a simple user flow. Let's take this one. So if we take this user flow, it has an entry point and it has an endpoint. So entry point is where the users enter to our application, and we show them a welcome message, and then we present them to select their task. So if they select their task, we name it number 1. So the action is number 1, and if it is correct, we show them the details. If they don't, like we go back to the select task step and they have to redo the process again. So if they select the correct task and we show them details, they can find by searching different terms. So if it is already existing one, we showing item found and goal complete, and they can order. This is actually for a task management application, so they can order their task accordingly. If the search item is not available, we are showing no items found. So this is a simple user flow diagram. Otherwise, it will connect to some other task and repetitive tasks as well. So I'm just showing you for the demonstration. So these are the I think most of you have like computer science background, is it? How about, let me ask. Chamod, have you worked with user flows and user flow diagrams before?
Yes, sir. I have
Okay.
studied.
How about Fatima?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madhushani, I'm sure you are. And also Nuan, how about you?
No, sir.
What are you doing, Puta? Are you studying or working?
Yes, I'm undergraduate student,
Okay.
and I'm working as a resume for graphic
Oh,
design.
graphic designing. So in your undergraduate program, have you studied about like anything about UX? No, right?
No,
How
not
about
yet.
development, affinity diagrams and any diagrams have you created?
Yes, but
No, normalization even?
not yet.
Okay, okay. So you got the idea what I'm trying to tell, right?
Yes,
It has an
yeah.
entry point. Okay, okay. Ask me if you have any questions.
Okay, sure.
Okay, then let's go back to our presentation. So it allows to better learn your audience and also helps to eliminate malfunctions. So if we streamline our user flow, you can eliminate malfunctions. For example, if there's any roadblock, you can understand. You can eliminate it and do your design accordingly. And it is also good for better communication because everyone in the team can understand the user flow diagram. So you don't have to explain it to them. By looking at your user flow diagram, they can gain an understanding about who the users are, how are they going to accomplish a particular goal. And that is all for the presentation today. So if you have any questions from last week or today's session, you can ask now. You can send a message as well if you like. Okay, last week we talked about introduction to UI. Okay, we got 2 chat messages. Let me see. How many personas we need to create average? In average, for a small application, at least we have to create 5 to 10 personas. But if you create more personas, it will benefit you. Actually, we need a minimum of 5 if it is a small application. But if it is a large scale application for a company or anything, we need to create up to 20, 50 personas. So it will help you to better understand your users and give the solutions to the problems they face. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So last week we discussed all these topics and we introduced Figma briefly. And one point I missed there is what is a UX portfolio and how you can create your portfolio. So today I'm going to help you to create a design portfolio. Even though if you don't have any projects, please, most of you don't have any projects. So let's see. What you can do is we are doing a capstone project at the end of this session. So you can use that design to showcase in your portfolio. So let's move forward. And these are the, you understand what the UX portfolio is. UX portfolio is actually where you can demonstrate the work you did. And it will help you to give your recruiters or hiring managers to get an understanding about you. Specifically, when you are sending a CV or a resume for a job, the first thing they will ask is to send you your portfolio. So if you have a good portfolio with a variety of projects, and if you describe your design thinking process, and if you have had like how you approach different kind of problems, and if you add screenshots and so on, you will get an advantage when comparing to other candidates who apply for the same role. So I invite every one of you to create a portfolio. You can, as a starters in UI and UX, you can use free versions such as applications such as Dribble. So this one application that you can create portfolios. I'm sorry about my internet connection. 1 second. Another one is Behance. So in Dribble, you can create an account and share your work. So these are the portfolios. These are the shots that different people shared. So you can easily create an account. I don't have to mention you how to create an account. So in Dribble, so you have these kind of designs. So let's open one of the designs. So apart from having a portfolio there, you can like or bookmark these designs, which will help you to do your design. So specifically when you are coming up with a new design, you have to go through different designs to get inspiration, get motivation to how to do the design, how other people accomplish different UX issues or different UX obstacles they face. So the good thing you can do is you can bookmark or like these boards, and you can refer to them in your library here. So that is also another advantage of having these free versions of portfolio. So you can create an account and upload your images or design like this. Please give me 1 minute. I will try to connect with my other internet connection. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Dribble and Behance are the two free applications that you can use to create your portfolio, even though if you don't have any coding knowledge or anything, you can directly upload your images or portfolio shots that you want and write a brief description about the application you developed and your design thinking process. And you can send it to, you can put the link on your CV and send it to recruiters when you're applying for a job next time. So other than that, there are other ways to create your portfolio. So if you have web development or HTML, CSS knowledge, you can easily create a web page using pure HTML or CSS and host it in a hosting service provider and buy a domain if you need. Other than that, you can create a portfolio using HTML and CSS and host it on GitHub, where you can get a custom URL called, for example, your name comes first and then GitHub pages.io or something like that. And there are other page builder applications such as Netlify, Vercel, where you can develop that kind of application. But if you are into front-end development and you have understanding about React or Vue.js or Angular, you can create a application using those frameworks and host it online. So you can like impress your recruiters by showing that you have design and development skills as well. So it is really good advantage for you, because most of the companies nowadays looking for designers who can code a little bit as well. So it is a good thing to have. So that is, let me see. So do any of you have design portfolio or any development portfolio already, website? I will go one by one. Chamod, do you have?
No, sir.
No. So have you done any design projects previously? Do you have anything like even a flyer design or a graphic design or anything?
No, sir.
No. Okay. How about Fatima?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you done any development projects in GitHub? Any coding or anything?
No, sir.
Okay. How about Madhushani?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you hosted them in your portfolio or just in your computer?
Just in my computer.
Okay. So how about Nuan?
No, sir.
No. So all of you might have, if you're looking for a UX career, so you need to have a portfolio. So in that case, the easiest way you can do is you can either sign up for Dribble or a Behance and put your work there. If you don't have any work to put there, you can use our project we are doing in the 4th week, or else you can design like different, you can take different design challenges, you can search online and do your designs accordingly by spending little time every day. So if you can build a good portfolio with at least 4 to 5 work with a case study and how your design thinking process is going, you have good advantage of getting a new job when comparing to those who don't have a portfolio. So I invite all of you to create a portfolio, at least create a portfolio account and send me a link to view it next week. Okay. Just sign up and create an account and send me the link. We can upload the pictures or any work later. So that is,
Hello, sir.
yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain the difference between UI UX engineer and UI designer?
Yeah. UI designer or UI UX designer?
UI UX designer.
Okay. UI UX designer is actually where you start your career. So after you learn UI and UX designing, UI is actually visual design, where the UX is the experience. So after you learn those things, the basics, and you have little experience about 1 year or few months, you can start applying for positions such as UI UX designer or UI designer or UX designer. When you have experience, about 4 or 5 year experience, and you have understanding about information architecture, hierarchy, how the data flows will represent in your design, how to do user research, how to give users, And when you have those experience, especially the information architecture, you can become a UX engineer, where you don't do much of the visual design, but you participate in the user research as well as providing information architecture and define your project. So it is comes up with the experience, whereas you can go to a starting role such as UX UI designer in the beginning. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. So,
Okay.
is there any
Yeah.
place to improve our skills in Sri Lanka? Because
I'm sorry.
Is
Can you
there
ask the question?
is there any place to learn UI UX? I mean, not
Learn.
uh, this kind of course. I mean,
Mhm.
degree level or anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure the name in the UI and UX design, but there are a few places that they have module for the UI and UX design, but they don't have specifically provide UI and UX design courses. But if you search online, you have these kind of courses in other countries such as Singapore and so on, where you can attend UX design boot camps, where you have to participate with fellow designers for 30 days in-house and learn designing. So it is kind of like coding hackathon, where you design continuously and experience with other users. So that is one option you can have, but as I know, in Sri Lanka, they don't have specifically UI and UX bachelor's degrees or anything like that. They just have certifications and some modules they provide during the bachelor's degrees. I will do a quick research and get back to you on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And also, Madhushani, if you follow, there's not much thing you have to learn from a bachelor's degree, actually. There are so many information available online, specifically if you go to YouTube or any other platform, if you search online, and even in the LinkedIn Learning, you have UX courses, learning path courses, where you can follow free and get a certification. So I invite you to do that. And if there's anything comes to my mind, I will get back to you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. 10:19. The presentation is done. Let's take a break of 10 minutes and we'll get back with the Figma. Is everyone here? Okay, now let's go to our Google Classroom. Last week, I actually added a few extra resources for you to follow when you're doing a design. The number one is for typography. When you are doing a web design or a mobile design, the typography is most important. So if you use in this typescale.com, if you set a base size, let's say for a mobile application, we set 14 pixel as a base size. If we set up a base size, it will give us the other fonts, how other font sizes should be. For example, the H6 should be 17.5 and H1 should be 42.72 and so on. And these are the smaller font sizes. And you can change the font from here and see how it looks like. So it is also a really important resource when you are doing a UI or UX application. So in here we have a guide to start with UX design. You can follow and learn something new, and you can use it as a guidance when you are doing your design next time. And here Career Found is another website where you can get so many information and knowledge about UX or any particular career. So I invite you to read this blog article as well and use it as a guideline when you are doing design. Pay scale, as I described last week, it is kind of like a platform for employees to put their salaries and how much they get yearly and what are the competitive advantages, what are the requirements that the particular job needs to have. So you can go to that pay scale or Glassdoor website and follow that to learn. So this is how it looked like. These are different user experience design jobs. For example, we have UX design, user interface design. Interaction design is something that pays more than interface design, and user research, web design, and so on. So skills that affect UX designer salaries: if you have product development experience or team leadership, strategy, content management, HTML5 coding experience, you will get high salary when comparing people only have UX skills. So UX designer can be a lead UX designer, and after some experience, they can be a senior UX designer, and also senior UX designer, senior product designer, and lead UX designer, as well as UX designer manager or UX engineer as well. And I have added 2 YouTube channels where you can gain information and follow latest design trends. So you can keep up to date with the design trends and what the market is expecting from you as well. So Dribble and Behance, we talked about them earlier. Those are 2 portfolio creation and showcasing applications where you can upload your products and show it to other people in the same social network. And awards.com is another platform where we can gain understanding, gain motivation from other designs. You can follow that when you are developing a next website to see how other people are doing, what are the new market trends and so on. And also the classwork, I have added all the things that we discussed. The grid layout, you can follow material design guidelines, and also Figma, how to create a grid line. And design systems is something that I'm going to cover today. So design systems 101 handbook, you can follow. The Nelson and Norman group is one of the leading UX research groups. So Nelson Norman is kind of like the father of UX design. He is the one who came up with the term user experience in early 90s when designing the Macintosh computer. So you can follow his articles and learn from him if you go to NN Group website. So Design Better site has a handbook, so you can follow that as well. These are the accessibility guidelines that I described for the motor impaired, visually impaired people. So we have to design it for everyone. So you have to follow these design guidelines and color filters as well when you are doing the design. And here I have added the recording and also slides are here. Okay, now let's go to our Figma. Okay, these are the yeah, sure.
Can you send the invitation again?
Let me see. I will. Okay. What is your email address?
MA
Okay.
DHU
Mm,
SHA
okay. I will copy the invite link and paste in Zoom chat for you. 1 second. Can you try joining it now so I can see it from here? Can everyone open their Figma accounts in their browser? I only can see one person. I will
Excuse me,
share
sir.
the link. Yeah, I will share
Can
the
you?
link on the Zoom
Okay, sir.
chat. Madhushani, were you able to get in? Please join this. I will create a new board for.
So I think she's having a connection issue.
Okay. I will create a new board for one second. No one, you have access to our previous recordings, right? Last week recording. So you can go through it and can you do this design yourself? If you have any questions, you can get back to me through WhatsApp group chat.
Yes, I already can I share this? You can add
Yeah,
the
can you copy it and paste it here in
okay,
this
sure.
board? Okay.
Okay, sure.
Madhushani, we're able to access Google Classroom?
No, sir.
Okay, let me remove you and resend it. This is your email address, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, try now. I will go through everyone's. Okay, I will go to Shamod's one first. Let's see, navigation is there. Okay, this is good. Okay, good. And then Fatima. Zero, okay, good. Then let me see what this is good. Also good. Right. Okay, good job, everyone. It is up to what I have expected from you. So no one also done a really good job by referring to the recording. Let's try something new today, day 2. So I discussed about the wireframes and the process during our presentation. Sorry. So this is let's take a wireframe and design design system in Figma as we discussed. Here we have to, okay, we have covered this. Okay. And here's the design that we are going to do. Let's think of this as a wireframe, and we are going to design our low fidelity prototype and high fidelity prototype based on this. So let's paste it here. So in this session, I'm going to follow atomic design, where I told you last time. So in atomic design, we have these three elements actually: atoms, then finally species, then actually molecules, atoms, molecules, and species. As I said in the first lecture, atoms is the basic level components that we are going to design. Like in here, we can see the atoms are the images. the images here, and these headings and this heading, and also the profile picture can be an atom, and even this home icon, chat icon, bolt icon, and even chat icon is also atoms. And in this screen, we can see the topic, the number or the video icon can be atom, and also here the video thumbnail icons can be an atom. In profile picture here is an atom, and also this the close button is an atom. When taking molecules, we can see the whole card with the image and also the topic. We can say it a molecule because it contains of atomic elements such as image and the topic. And also the search bar is a molecule. So you can say that there are two molecules we identified here, and also you can take this navigation bar, the bottom navigation, as a molecule with 4 different atoms. And also in here we have this card, this particular card, we can take it as an atom. And also this button is also an atom because it contains text as well as a rectangle. And also these 3 cards, 3 separate molecules. And also buttons, once again, those are molecules. Likewise, in these screens as well, you can say there are atoms and molecules as well. Species is something that you get after you put all the atoms and molecules together. Likewise, this whole screen, we can call it a species, and 4 different screens. So let's start with first page. So let's say now we have to design this page. The first thing we do is we create a frame, and today we are going to select font size. Let's say let's select Android small. No, let's select something different. Android large, this one. So we have much real estate in that screen. So we are going to design this one, this first screen only. So we have identified atoms here. So those are this search icons and even this user icon and typography, as well as these icons and images as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create these icons. The one place we can get icons are from Google fonts. So material design icons, if you search for that, Google icons. So these are free icons you can use to create your UI designs easily. And another way we can do is there are designs in Figma community. So you can use Figma community, explore community, and then type whatever, say, icons. And you can get different icon packs. You can copy and paste these icons to your design from those community plugins. So today I'm going to use Google Material Design and use their icons to do our UI. So we need actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 icons to create the first page. So I'm first going to look for a search icon. So I go there and look for search. Search icon is here, and I'm going to download SVG. Always make sure when you are doing UI UX design to download the SVG, otherwise you won't be able to resize the item without pixelating it. If you download a PNG, it will not help you to resize it the way you wish, and also it is not lightweight. So always make sure to download the correct icon and in scalable vector graphic format. Let's create a folder here and put it in this. And we need again user icon. Let's say profile icon. Let's download this. Yes, I'm sorry about my internet connection today. I'm not at my home. I'm outside. That is why it is giving issues. I'm sorry. And third icon we need is home, chat, board, and finally we need another icon. Let's put okay. I'll need home, then chat, then we need board, finally let's put page icon here, article. Okay, let's put this inside here. We can easily drag and drop those in our screen. Now we have all the icons required for our design. We can call these atoms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a component for those icons. The first thing I need to do is I need to select all of them, and then I'm going to create a select this create component, and we can call it icons. And then we have okay, we have these components, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a variant. So variant number 1, we can call it dark mode. Let's say that the application we're developing is enabled dark mode as well. So the variant number 1 we called dark mode is false, so it is light mode. And the second one we are calling dark mode true, so which is the dark version of the application. So let's say in the dark mode true, we give icon color, we change icon color to white, and the other one we change it to black. Now another thing we need to do, we need to if we give them an option to select different icons from a menu, we can do something like this. We can undo all the changes we just did. Okay, now we have this of this. We can press on create component set. So the component set is created. So this we have different components inside the component set. So let's say this one icons, and inside icons we have property one. Let's say let's rename the property. You can refer to this through the recording as well. So I'm going to do it here. So let's say icon. The property one is icon. So here we have the components that we just created from Google icons, and I pressed. So I selected all these, and there was option here to create component set. So you can refer to recording how I did that. So after creating component set, so we have one like main component, and we have 6 variants in it. So these all are the variants. So in here we have search, home, and all the icons we just pasted. So let's say that variant has a property. So the current variant has a property. The property number 1 is icon. We can change the property name accordingly. So let's say this one, we change the property to profile. Let's say profile property. This one profile. And this one we call it let's say article. This one, let's say bold, only bold. And this one should be chat. And this one is home. We can leave it as it was, but for better reading and simplicity, I'm going to rename them as follows. So as I said earlier, we can add dark mode and light mode as well. In order to do that, what we can do is we can select all these, and in the properties tab, we have this create component property. So we can either select variant like we did earlier. These are all variants. These icons, this icon, these all icons represent variants. And we can put a Boolean value, which is either true or false, like I did for dark mode or a light mode. Instance swap. So we can swap different instances. I will show it to you later. And also we can add a text property where we can type a text based on the icon. Now let's give it a Boolean property called dark mode. Okay, dark mode. Now we have now our Boolean value only have true value. That is why it is representing as not used within component. So what we can do is we have to give, let's say we have to select this and give a Boolean value to this. One way you can do is you can change the component name from here, and also you can type like this: dark mode equals true. So it will show current variant is dark mode true, and we can either type false as well. So search icon dark mode true. Now we have to create a search icon with dark mode false. Let's say now we are creating another search icon, and we are giving dark mode false. So in order to differentiate those, for the dark mode false one, I'm going to leave the same color. Dark mode true one, we are going to give white color, because in the dark mode the background is black color and the icon, so the elements should be white. So that's why I'm giving it like that. So let's put auto layout for this. So these are the icons that we have right now. This one has dark mode, this one don't. we have 6 icons. Now each and every one, we going to repeat that. We can easily do it from the time we are pasting it, but for the demonstration, I'm going to do it separately so you can follow my video as well. So every icon has 2 of them. Now let's select one icon from the set and make it dark mode false. The first one is dark mode true. So for the dark mode true ones, we are giving a color white. Now the component set is created. Now what we can do is, now if we last time I discussed about this asset option. So now once you create a component, it will display here as a local component in your asset library. What you can do is you can drag and drop it here anywhere. You can even drop it here. For the demonstration, I will just drop it here, and then you can select the icon from here. Can you see all the icons we just created? You can select article, or one second, profile, article, board. You have to make sure that you name them in the same name. So in say chat, and this one is home, and finally this one is search is correct. Okay, now when we select let's do it again. When we drag and drop one article, we can change the size from here if we need it to be larger size, let's say 96. And if you want to switch on dark mode, you can just toggle this button. So it will automatically change the modes, color modes, and you can select the icon you want from this menu. So it will be easier for developers. This is called a design system. So you create reusable components in order to do your design. Up until that part, is it clear? Or do you want me to describe again? Tamod?
Clear, sir.
Fatima?
Clear, sir.
Madhushani?
Clear, sir. Sir,
Okay. Yes.
can we use Figma plugins
Yeah,
for
we can use Figma plugins, but I want to demonstrate how to create a component and create it without any plugins. So that is why I created this. So you can use icon plugins. You can easily type the icon name, and like similar way I just did here, you can type the icon name and paste it here. So that is also easy. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Nuwan?
Clear, sir.
Okay. All right. Now we created icons in this screen. Now just these we can call atoms. So we keep them here. And also there are images we can use. So for the images also, we are going to create a frame. Let's give it a size like this. And for the images also, we can install a plugin here and populate the image easily automatically by selecting here. But I'm going to demonstrate it in a basic way, so you can learn it and apply it, learn the basic before you do the plugins in Figma. So let's call it image, and let's copy an image from here. use this one. So whenever you want to paste an image inside a box, what you can do is you can like copy the image from Google by, I'm not going to use keyboard shortcut. I want to show it to you. So copy image and then come here and select your frame and click on paste here. So it will, so you can drag and drop and fit it in your screen like this. So this is our image component that we are going to use in the application. So I'm not going to make six like different components of image. So when you are doing the design, you may have to do that, but you're familiar with it now because I used it in icons. So let's say now we have icons and everything. Okay, now these are the atoms section for our design. Now we have to design a molecule. One molecule we have to design is the search bar. The other one is this box, this card, and finally the navigation bar. Let's start with the search bar. So in order to do the search bar, I'm going to delete this first, and then I'm going to create another frame. Let's give it a height of 48 and give it a background color for you to view it clearly. Okay, now we have our search bar wrapper, and then what we can do is we can go to layers. We can name it as search. And then inside that we have to add text search. Let's give it a size of 14. And then we are going to place our icon there. One way we can do is we can paste it here and select the icon to search. So it will display here. Now last time I told you about auto layout. So we can select auto layout and type auto here. So it will display like this. Now we have to give it a width of 360. Now we have our search bar, but it is not like in the wireframe. So we have to change it to look more like it in the wireframe. So what I'm going to do is give it a border radius of 5. Let's give it 10. And it will display like this. Okay, now now let's say when we are doing a search, let's say here, it has different status. For example, when we are typing some text, the text box will have box shadow. If the search bar is inactive, it has a different color and so on. We call them states. So we have to create different states for this search bar. So I will take it out from our code and I will make it look more like what we have in our application. Let's remove the background color and give it a stroke. Inside black. And also the text and the font, we will make the text color to black. And also the dark mode is not true. So that we are designing for normal screen, light screen. So this is the normal search bar without any states changes, default one. So if we create another bar and change it like this. Now let's say a person is typing something. Let's type yeah, in the middle of typing something. So it looks like this. We are going to add box shadow to show them that it is active. So the effect we are going to put is drop shadow or inner shadow, let's say. And for the visibility purpose, I will give this 90, and the color I'm going to change it to yellow. Let's add a drop shadow. Inner shadow is hard to visible. So 800. Okay, you can see that there's a drop shadow in the screen when user is typing it. Now we have to create the inactive state for that as well. So in order to create the inactive state, we paste again and we remove the drop shadow. And one thing we can do is we can reduce the layer opacity, but we are not going to do that in our design because it is not a good practice. What we can do is we can reduce the filling of each of these. Let's say we give it 50, give this one 50, and also the font color and everything is 50. So now this is the search bar default, and this is the active search bar, and this is the inactive search bar. Now we are selecting them once again. Now let's see, these are grouped and framed. Okay, now I'm selecting all of these and we are selecting create component set. Now we have search bars as well. Now here we call it search, the property. Here we call this one state, and we call it default. Second one, state is active. Third one, state is inactive. And I'm going to put dark mode true or false for this. So I'm only going to design 4 light screens for the simplicity. So we have our search bar as well. Now, if we go to assets, we have search bar here as well. So if we drag and drop it here or anywhere, we have access to the state. So we can select from default state to active state to inactive states, and we can reuse that component throughout our application whenever we need a search bar. So we don't have to redesign it again and again. So the atomic design is actually for the reusable designing. Even in programming, we use atomic design and development. For example, in React, we have components separately and the pages separately and so on. So it is easier for users to build whatever they need once and use it and reuse it throughout the system without any delay. So it is help to rapid application development as well. Now we have search bar and also the icons. Now we call these search bars molecules. So these are basic items, atoms. These are molecules because it contains atoms like search bar, search icon, and the text. So these are molecules. We have to create another molecule, which is the navigation bar. Now let's create the navigation bar. In order to do that, we need I will create it here because I can see the screen as well. Let's give it a height of 60 and change the fill color for visibility. And what we can do is we can add those 4 icons here. The home icon, dark mode false, and then we need 3 more icons. let's call it navigation frame name, and we have 4 icons. Like we did last time, we're going to give it auto layout and fixed width 360, and here the width between elements is also auto, so it will get the whole width of the division. And here we have to select dark mode is false and chat icon, and here we can select bold icon, and finally we can select article icon. So we have our navigation bar as well. So the navigation bar also might have active and inactive elements based on what is the page you are in. So let's remove the background color first and create active state for this. Now let's say the home icon is active here. Let's give the home icon a different color. Let's give it this color, or we can give it a fill if we have the other icon, but to save the time I will give it the yellow color, and all the other icons I'm going to give it the visibility of 50. So this is the selected icon. Let's keep it black, and all the other icons is visibility 50. Let's reduce the visibility furthermore. 30. Okay. We have home icon is active. Now we need to have chat icon active. So in order to do that, we give chat icon 100% visibility and this home icon 30%. And again, we need bold icon to be active now. So we give this one 30 and this bold icon 100. And again, we need article icon to be active now. So we give this 30 and the article icon should be 100. Okay, we have all states for our navigation. We can add actually, if we like, we can add effects such as drop shadow and so on. But for this one, I'm not going to do that. So let's select all these 4 states and create another component, create a component set. So let's call it navigation. And the first one, the property, let's say active. And we are going to give the name here, active. This one is home. This one is chat. This one is bold. This one is article. Now we have our navigation components as well. So now we can easily, now we have create another component actually. So the navigation component, search component is done. Now we have to create this card. In order to create this card, we have to create another frame here. Let's give it half a width. 80 by 200. It's background color, and then we place our image. We can make this image a component if I'm using it like again and again. Let's make it a component, and then we can place this image here. And then add the text. Let's add the text here. Not big one. if we make it auto layout, it will align to left side automatically. So let's remove the background color. Let's give it a different background color, a little bit lighter one. And the font color should change to black. And the border radius, we make it 10. We have this card as well. Now we have to make sure, now we have to create a state for card as well. When user is hovering over it, we need to change the background color of it. So I'm going to name it as card and create another duplicate and change the background color to yellow when users hovering over it. So I'll select both of these cards, or we can okay, that is fine. So I'm going to select 2 of these cards and create component set, and first one is state default, second one is state active. Okay, now we have all the components required for this particular screen. So you might think that it is taking a little bit time for me to create the component, but if we have reusable components all the screens, it is really beneficial for us as designers to create these reusable component first and do the design. So if I show you an example, here, I will follow this while it's getting loaded. So we can use this anywhere in the screen. We call it a design system. So any of the users, let's say you started the design and you created the design system and you left the job, or you can't do the project anymore. So whenever the new design comes in, they can simply do the changes in this particular design system here, and all the existence, all the other elements that represent that will change automatically. Otherwise, they have to go through whole system and do the changes one by one, which will be time consuming, and it is not a good practice as well. So here is one design system that I have developed recently. So we can easily use this design like atoms in our design whenever we need them. So if we need to do any changes or color changes or text changes, we can easily change it here rather than changing it in every screen. So in the molecule section, we have all the buttons. In here, we have these icons and credit cards and so on. So we can create cards by using those atoms. So when we are doing changes in atoms, it's changing these molecules as well. And even in the species section, where we have all these designs, it is changing when we are changing atoms. So it is easier for any of the designers or even the developer for easily access these elements and get the code for the element he is selecting. So it saves the time, as well as it is easier for all the people involved in the design process. Okay, now let's do our design using these components we just created. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the search bar from here and put it here. And then I'm going to add the navigation. Now we have the search bar on top and navigation at the bottom. And then we have these icons, these cards. So I'm going to put this card here. And I'm going to duplicate it one more time. Then I'm going to put those cards inside another frame. let's call it body, and we're going to get auto layout, and there's the option called wrap. So whenever you put any other card, it will go directly down rather than show it in a row. So let's see that as an example. Let's put 6 of them, the body. And if you give the width 360, it will display like this, like image wall, rather than showing it in one row or one column. So we need a few more of these. Let's paste those as well. So we have scrollable content, and we have to bring the navigation on top of this. So in order to do that, we bring the navigation here, and we have to give a background color to our navigation as well. We are not going to change it here. We are going to change it in our navigation here. So we're going to give it a fill of white color. Now it will represent here as well. Okay, now this screen is almost done, but we have to do like design aesthetics and padding and everything. Now let's put all these inside another frame without these two, only these two in another frame. Frame selection, and let's name it main. And inside main, we are going to create this text topics. Give it a small topics. And we have to put the icon here. Now this off. We have to frame this as well. Its call is header, and auto layout is on. Select this one and call this, give this auto. Okay. Now we have main object. And give it also an auto. Heading of 8. Front. Now we have this as our basic design. So it has all the components in this section, and it is a kind of like a low fidelity prototype where you can interact with. So in order to create other designs, we have to fine tune these designs to match our output. For example, this one actually looks like not a final product. So we have to give it a gradient, we have to give it a different background color, we have to add padding to these, and so on. So in order to do that, we can change our navigation and our atoms actually molecules based on what our requirement is. So I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a prototype by using this. So let's say now we have screen 1 here. Screen 1. Let's reduce the width of this little bit. So if we add 8 padding from both sides, we have to remove 16 from the width of each. Even for these, we have to remove 16. Minus 16. Now we have this design, so we are going to put fixed width, give it 360. Here also give this 8, 8. Here also we are going to give this 8, 8. In between 4. Okay, now let's say this is the final product we came up with. We are going to create a prototype. So in order to make we have overflowing content here in these our cards. So in order to make it scrollable, what we can do is we can click on it. Let's first see the prototype. Let's say we have Android large silver. This. This is the flow starting point. So it should be there, and we can select this and we can enable vertical scrolling. So if we press this and open the prototype, it will display in a screen here. Now scrolling is not enabled, so we have to change the scrolling as well. So this is the final output. We have to fine tune our design, but I'm going to demonstrate it to you. Now, in order to enable vertical scrolling, what you can do is you can select the main, let's say main, and vertical scrolling is enabled. Now, if we go here, and you can scroll vertically to the screen. You can see that the navigation bar is fixed at the bottom because we haven't enabled scroll for that, only for this part. Now, if we want to select, give it different states, we have added different states for this, like selecting and hovering, and also for the images cards, changing background color and so on. In order to do that, we have to select whatever the element we are going to change, and press on interactions and select, let's say on tab, change instance, set variable, sorry, not change instance, change to state active. We can change the animation to smart animation to make it look nice. So let's say if you press on it, it will change automatically to the active state. So if it is once again we need it to be inactive, we can paste another screen here and change it accordingly. Let's add that animation to our component. Interactions, let's say on tap, change to active. We'll tap on this and it will change to this. And let's do it this as well. We will give it while hovering, change to active. Now let's go to our design, and you can see the states are changing when we are hovering over this. And if we click on this, it will change the states as well. So is it clear up until now? Let me ask one by one then. Chamod, anything you
Yes, sir.
want me to explain?
No, sir, all clear.
Okay. How about Fatima?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Madhushani?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Nuwan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I will give, you already have access to this file. You will have to create a screen with your name. Let's say it's called this my name, and replicate the thing I did today. So you can take your time and do it and present it to me next week. So if you don't have enough time, it's okay. You can just refer to the recording and do it later. But I invite you to do that. If you have time, you can create all these screens as well. But this screen is minimum. You can change the design aesthetics, design it in your way, but you have to create atomic designs and components as I mentioned. Okay. All right. Now, how many minutes we have? 20 minutes.
Sir,
Yes,
still I didn't receive the invitation.
it is weird. Let's see. Do you have any other email address?
No.
This is correct, right? Your email address? Can you check in your spam?
Yeah, I checked it.
Okay. Were you able to join through the link I shared on
Okay.
Zoom chat?
Okay.
Can you click on it and see?
Okay, sir.
Shared it earlier. All right. Now this week we have discussed what is UI UX. Okay, we covered up until here. So next week we are going to discuss about how to become a successful UI and UX designer engineer, and also I'm going to give you a project like guidelines, so you can start. Actually, I'm planning to give it on the 4th week, but I will give it to you earlier because you can read it and go through it and start early. And also I'm going to complete the design system as well, so we can move on and you can design your own design system whenever you are creating a new application as well. So yeah, so create these components and the design, and also create the prototype as I did with different button effects and so on. So interactive prototype plus the mockup should be presented next week. You can change the design as you like, but this hierarchy should be there. Let me see what else we can do. Okay, let's do a small session where you tell me about an application you like most, and tell me 3 things that you like about that application as a UX designer. And let's start with Shamod then. Tell me an application you like, mobile application or a physical application.
I like W3 School's
Yes.
website
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Why do you like it?
because there are so many options that we can learn, so many computer programming languages.
Mhm.
And
Do you find it easier to navigate through all these course materials?
yeah, of course, because there are different categories related to different programming language.
Okay.
So it is categorized well.
Yeah.
I find it easy to navigate through.
Okay. Can you tell me one thing you don't like about, you find it difficult to do in that website? How about advertisements? Do you like it?
I usually don't get any advertisements.
Mhm.
So
Is there there's nothing you don't like about that, right?
not yet.
Okay, okay, cool. Fatima, thank you, Shamad.
Okay.
So I like LinkedIn application
Mm-hmm. Why do you like it?
where we can search the new job openings and all,
Mhm.
and we can study the courses that we want.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Okay. So, is there anything that you don't like? You think that it should be improved in that application?
um, Normally we don't get so much ads in LinkedIn, but they are always sending messages to update, like go to premium options and
Mm.
all. So I think that should be their way of changing our accounts.
Mhm.
I think I don't like that. So,
Okay.
or like getting messages each
Yeah.
time when I log in.
Okay. Okay. Understand. So let's go to Madhushani. Thank you, Fatima.
I like Netflix application,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Why do you like it?
especially the color theme and catchy logo.
Mhm.
Yeah, simple structure.
Yeah. How about streaming experience?
It's good, really good. Yeah.
Okay. One thing you don't like about Netflix?
Mm, yeah, it suggests, unwanted movies, and I mean, I'm not interested everything. So, but it suggests every movies.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. And one?
I like QuickBooks cricket app.
Okay.
Uh,
Why do you
because
like it?
because we can find players in teams, how can rank and any updates there almost.
Mm-hmm.
And my these times updates coming. It's
Okay.
very difficult thing.
Okay. That is the thing that you don't like about the application, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do you compare it to Cricinfo website?
Better, quick info better,
Okay. All right.
but app is not used.
Okay. 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 Thank you, everyone. Actually, it is kind of like user interviews, basic user interviews we follow when we are doing a design. So you, there's one thing I want to show you. Actually, there's another design principle we follow when we are doing design, mostly these days, which is called double diamond. Actually, the UK government body called Design Council has introduced that. So in designing a project, if you follow design diamond, you have these four diamond-like shapes. The first thing you is understanding the challenge. You do is understanding the challenge and discover, define, and then develop and finally deliver. So the challenge until outcome, we follow these four steps iteratively. So it is actually engaging process. So connecting the dots and building relationships between different citizens, stakeholders, and partners. So it is a widely used process that most of the companies follow these days. Especially it is introduced by this company and followed by Google and most of the agile companies following these design principles. So if we are going through these four design phases, the first thing is discover. The first diamond helps people to understand rather than simply assume what the problem is. So problem identification is one thing that you have to do properly when you doing a product, because it will help you to understand all your users and what are the problems you are trying to solve. And define. The insight gathered from the discovery phase can help to define challenge in different way. And then after that we develop. Develop is not decoding, but we design. So designing diamond gives different answers to clearly define problems, seeking inspiration from elsewhere and co-designing with a range of different people. So co-designing is kind of like we design with a team and we design our own versions differently and we gather weekly and get feedback. We call them stand-ups. We gather weekly and get feedback from everyone in the team and do our design according to their feedback and fine tune our design based on those. And finally, we deliver the different solutions at small scale, rejecting those that will not work and improving that ones that will. So if you going to become a UX designer, there are some books that you need to study. The one book is I suggest, these are available in Sri Lanka as well. Otherwise, you might have to get it from Amazon or book repository. So one book is Design of Everyday Things. This one, Don Norman is the father of UX design. So he has updated this from 1996 edition. So it will give you the understanding of design psychology, how people think, how people interact with different digital or physical product. So it will give you the perspective that how should you approach a problem, day-to-day problem as a UX designer to solve and make people's lives easier. And other book is, it is actually Design Sprint. This one, how to solve big problems and test new ideas in just 5 days. So this book also introduced by Google Ventures. So it is also widely used in design teams to do and understand ideas and find solutions to different problems users face. And another book is Business Model Generation. So even though you are not doing business, it is also always good thing to have a good understanding about all this, because if you don't have understanding, if you don't have 360 knowledge about what the application should be and how the users will interact, you won't have that advantage when comparing to someone who has that. So this book is also there. So I will try to find PDFs and upload this to our Google Drive as well. So it is always good to read these books as well. And there's another book, I can't remember the name. I will share it in the Google Classroom as well. So I think we covered up until now for the today's session. So I have given you two tasks. One is to create an account in Dribble or Behards and send me the link. And also complete the design task and create your own artboards and complete this one. Is everything clear? And even if you have a question, any question regarding today's lesson or anything regarding UX or career, you can send a message on group chat or even Google Classroom. I will answer. Okay, that is all
Sir,
for today.
where we can send the link, the Dribble account link.
Dribble account link, you can send it on Google Classroom, or you can you do it like this? Can you paste it here on top of
Okay.
your artboard? It will be
Okay.
easier. Okay. Okay, then see you next week. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.